Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and I have the tiny microphone for this video because it's really warm. We're still having our Scottish summer heat wave and my windows are open and all I can hear is just broom, broom, broom of all the cars and the sun is almost in my face. So I hope I'm looking at my camera, but I don't know. The room I'm in right now is 25.5 degrees, so I'm going to try and be quick. I always start my TBR game by going through the previous month's game. Did I read the books? Then I'm going to talk about my new game, my new books, and then I have something very exciting. I'm so giddy. Summerween. Summerween is happening in July. I have special books I want to read in Summerween. Maybe I'm going to try and make my TBR game work for Summerween. Maybe I'm just going to pick books. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Me, I know. Let's start with my June TBR. It was very short. I actually only had 3 books on my TBR for June. So I had an audiobook. I loved it. The Most Famous Girl in the World by Aman Hariri Kia. This book was amazing. I fully expect that this is going to make it onto my favourite books of Q2. Fairly certain. Each of the books that were on my June TBR I featured in vlogs just because it was such a short list. So I'll add any links to vlogs in the description if you're interested. The next book from my June TBR was a book with a name in the title, and I went with, I'm carrying both of them, this was silly, I went with Veronica by Mary Gateskill. It was okay. It wasn't what I was expecting or what I'd hoped for, and it was just okay. And the last book on my June TBR was a new release, so a 2025 release. And I went with Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. I didn't overly like this book, and the more that I've thought about it, I didn't like it. I didn't. No, I did not like this book. I like the floppiness of the paperback. But if you promise me a vampire story, you better give me a vampire story. I think that's the most threatening I've ever been in my entire life. Let's go on to my July rules. Rule number 1. That was a crap roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Blue, which is a hyped book. Rule number 1 was a hyped book. And I am going with The Compound by Aisling Roll. This is a book I have on NetGalley, but it does come out in July, so I'm not going to be really far behind with it. I'm going to be kind of on time, maybe slightly late. This, as far as I'm aware, is kind of Lord of the Flies meets Big Brother, and I'm here for that. I have kind of avoided getting any spoilers because it's so easy when I look into what a book is about to accidentally spoil it for myself, and I don't want that. So all I know about this is kind of vague. I know that a group of women wake up one day in a sort of secluded villa and they have to survive. That's all I know. I've seen a whole bunch of people raving about this book, and I've tried not to read too much about what they did and didn't like about it because I didn't want to spoil anything, but I have seen an overwhelming number of stars being given to this book, so I'm taking this as being raved about, and I want to enjoy some of the hype myself. Let's try for a better roll. Roll number 2. Actually rolled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yellow, which is a friend recommendation. For a friend recommendation, I actually, my friends and I've mentioned before, we meet every month. We have a little blether about our books that we've been enjoying. We have a spreadsheet. It's glorious. It's organized. It's just a thing of beauty. We are cool people with our book spreadsheets. And I was having a little look there for a recommendation. And then I thought, no, I'm going to go with a recommendation from my favourite person in the whole world. And I'm going with a book that my boyfriend has been trying to get me to read for a couple of years now. I'm going with Goth Ghoul Horror. This is a Warhammer book with sprayed edges, and it's by Anna Stevens. This was recommended to me because I have really enjoyed another book that is sort of in this collection, not the same author, not the same characters, but the same sort of faction. This is a sort of haunted house, Scooby-Doo kind of gang mystery. And I'm here for that. I have read a whole bunch of Warhammer books and I've always had a good time with them. So I'm excited about this one. I also have been told if I don't like it, that's okay, which is the best thing when you get a book recommendation. So there's no pressure. And I can finally read a book that has been sat on a stool in my room that I forgot A, the book was there, B, that the stool was there, and I see it every day. I just walk right past it. So this is going on the list. Rule number 3 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Green. A cover matches my outfit. I'm wearing sportswear. I'm wearing gross sportswear. Next roll was a green roll, and this was a book that matches my outfit. I'm going with the outfit I was wearing when I rolled because otherwise it feels like a cheat. Because I could just put any outfit on and then match any book that I want to read. So I actually played my game just after I did a workout. So I was wearing a purple vest with very billowy sleeves. Not even sleeves. Like I cut the sleeves down so that I billow and get some air in. I was wearing that and I was wearing black leggings. So I went with a book that was kind of purple and black. The Vengeance. This is by Emma Newman. This is a Scottish author, and this is pirate vampires, which sounds fantastic, and we're not judging books by their covers. But if we were, how cute is this? This looks majestic. This, again, my boyfriend found this on he saw this online being recommended, and he was like, my girlfriend likes books. She likes Scottish authors. Here we go. So, another delightful paperback. I'm really excited about this one. I have been looking for some sort of fun vampire romps. I've been left longing after Blood on Her Tongue. I want more vampires. There is possibly a rule number 4. We shall see. 3. 1, 2, 3. Pink. Just one. One word title. And is there a 5th rule? No, because there are not 19 squares left. And another short TBR game, rule number 4, my final rule, was a book with a 1-word title. And I'm going for a book that I don't mind if people judge me for this, because I deserve judgment. I'm going with Ritual. Another glorious paperback. This is by Chloe Elizabeth Wilson. And the reason I feel that I deserve to be judged is that I really wanted this book. And that's not something that I should be judged for. But this book I couldn't find in the UK. So I ordered it from Australia. And I paid more for this book. Not like a ridiculous amount. I basically paid hardback price for a paperback book. And I got it sent over from Australia. And so judge me all you like. I couldn't find an electronic copy and I was desperate because this book on paper sounds like my perfect thing. This is a sort of cult-like beauty industry book. I'm so here for that. I have been craving this ever since I read Natural Beauty, after I read Youth Juice, after reading Rouge. I wanted more really overly intense beauty industry culty vibes. And that's I want to read this now, but I'm holding off. I'm holding off. I am now going to go on to my Summerween picks. Giddy, I'm so excited. So Summerween, if you don't know what Summerween is, you are in for a treat, my friend. This is basically a celebration of all things Halloween and spooky and ghoulish, but in summer. That's pretty much it. I'll pop a link in the description to the original announcement video for this because it's just so much fun. And Gabby puts on a really wonderful kind of celebration, and it's just a really fun time. This is going to be taking place from the 5th of July until the 12th of July. And if I plan things accordingly, I don't know, maybe I will. I'm planning to vlog my Summerween reading experience and chat to you about the books that I'm going to read, and I'm going to tell you about the books I'm going to read as well. That's a novel idea. There are 5 prompts for Summerween, and you can kind of mix and match and have books that meet more than one prompt if you want. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try and maybe have a book per prompt. One prompt is not book specific. But I reserve the right to have maybe a book cover more than one prompt if I'm just falling behind, if life happens. It's good to have a plan, a backup plan. The first prompt is to read a book in the dark. Normally, not too much of an issue. I live in Scotland. But it's summer. We actually have got daylight. So maybe I'll read at 10 p.m. I'll be awake. The first bookish prompt was to read a thriller or a horror. I'm going with Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Huang. My parents bought me this book for my birthday. This was the only thing I asked for because it had just come out, really wanted it, and I was trying not to buy more books because I want to read a bit more before I buy more, if that makes sense. I love Ling Ling Huang. Natural Beauty was a highlight for my year. I love that book, and I think I'm going to love this book based solely on my love of this author. All I know about this is that it's a horror. We have 2 friends. One of them realizes that she could just hop inside the other one's mind. And that's all I need to know. It sounds terrifying, sounds creepy, sounds insidious. I'm in. Next prompt was to read a book with a sky on the cover. I'm going with The Compound. I'm gonna double up here because there's sky on the cover, and that works. I also had nothing else couldn't find anything else in my stash that I wanted to read and thought I could manage to read in a week with the rest of the books. So this feels like a smart choice. Next prompt was to read a book that I have had for over a year. And I'm going with When Ghosts Call Us Home by Katia de Becerra. This was an arc that I have on NetGalley, and I have had on NetGalley since my notes are behind me, the 28th of September, 2023. Yeah, I've had this on my TBR a couple of times, and I've never gotten to it. And I really want to read it, but then I find myself, because it's been on for so long, I think, well, I'll just save it, and why don't I just read the book? So that's the plan. This is another haunted house book. We have sisters. One sister's thought of as perhaps making a deal with the devil, and she goes missing, and her other sister goes back to the sort of scene of the crime, the place where the deal was struck. And that's kind of all I know. Haunted house, sisters, missing, devil deals. I mean, it sounds fantastic, to be honest. And the last prompt was for all, almost. It is a novella, manga, or audiobook, like a spooky one. So I'm going with a novella. This is called Mewing by Chloe Spencer. And I wasn't sure at first if it counted as a novella, but the book literally tells me that it does. This is kind of influencer culty vibes. We have this group of the beautiful people, the influencers, and our protagonist would kind of give anything to join them. Really wants to be part of their world, up where they walk and up where they run. And their leader, Vixen, which I think is an appropriate name based on the blurb, she's just hot. And the protagonist is like, ooh, hello. And she gets taken under Vixen's wing and brought into this world of the beautiful influencers. And chaos ensues. So my TBR is actually a little bit longer than it would usually be. I have 5 books and 2 ebooks, so 7 books, 31 days. I think it's doable. Hopefully. A lot of kind of creepy books. So I am going to have to try and make some time to read some not creepy books because I love horror. I love weird books, but I actually sound such a little princess. If I read too many horrors or creepy books or unnerving books, I feel genuinely unwell and I need to have a break and read something fluffy, something silly. But luckily, I'm rereading my books by the cast of The Hills, so I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to insert some palate cleansers in between these books so that I don't feel unwell from all of the horrors in life and in literature. So that's the plan. Let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you are joining in with Summerween, or just if you're reading anything good and want to share. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to go downstairs where it is slightly cooler. Bye!